Don't go anywhere. I've got some huggable Hungarians for you. The pet department is coming up.
Oi. Hi.
Hi everybody, welcome to the Pet Department. I'm Steve Walker. Was that a 10 on the cute meter or what with those guys? Take a look. We have to go right to them, I think. These are Vizslas. Some people call them Vizslas. Some people call them Vizslas. Whatever you call them, a rose by any other name would be just as cute. These dogs are really, really great animals, and they come from Hungary. In fact, they're the national dog of Hungary, and that's our road test today. We're going to find out what kind of pet these guys make, and they make a great pet. Not as good as you, though. How you doing today? He's a little bit jealous because of those puppies. As I said, I'm Steve Walker, and this is my dog, Jack, and you're watching the show that teaches you how to find a pet, care for a pet, and enjoy a pet. In addition to the Vizslas that we have on the show today, we have some other really great stuff, including Dr. Larry Cohen, who I believe you're in the kitchen, aren't you?
I am, Steve. How are you today?
I'm pretty good. Gee, I'm shocked to find you in the kitchen.
Well, you know, it seems like you don't have any problem with your weight, but I'm always watching my weight. It goes up, it goes down, and seems to go up even higher. And I brought a friend along today. This is Sweetie, and as you can see, Sweetie has a little problem with her weight. We're going to talk about how to watch your animal's weight today.
Sweetie is a little broad in the beams,
a little on the fat side.
I know. I always, I get on my soapbox and I say this is probably, I think, the #1 problem among pet owners and cat owners too, don't you think, Doc?
Absolutely, it leads to a lot of problems. We're going to talk about that today.
I know, and it is kind of funny. A couple of people had a little giggle when we saw Sweetie, but it can take years off the animal's life. We'll tell you what to do, how to keep your pet from becoming that way, and if your dog is a little rotund, we'll tell you how to cut off some of the pounds. In fact, Jack had a little problem. We fixed it up. We'll show you later. You're just looking real good right now. Standing by outside in Madison Square Park is our favorite female on the show, Jane Fergus. And
Thank you.
Now, what's up today? Are you taking a test today?
Yes, we're going to take a test to find out about doggy manners. Now, we know Jack is not overweight and he has fabulous manners. That's Tucker. He's from the American Kennel Club, and he's got great manners, too. And if you think your dog is all mannerly, but you want to make it official, stay tuned, because Wayne Cavanaugh from the American Kennel Club will be here to tell us how we can make your dog a certifiable canine good citizen.
It's a good test, and I would urge people to get a pencil and paper during the first break and write down what you need to do, because I urge anyone who owns a dog, absolutely anyone and everyone, that they should take this test, right, Jane?
Take the test. It's very simple.
Okay, look forward to it. Nice day out there. Speaking of nice days, Jack and I had a nice day recently. We went camping, and I brought a couple of photographs. They're not in color. I apologize right now. They're in black and white, but I thought I would share them. There's Jack. This is out west in Mount Rainier National Park. Yeah, Wilderness Jack, exactly. And there's, hello. And there's Jack with the whole crew. We're camping. He's looking around. And here's Jack. He's finding sticks for the campfire. Right there, he's looking for sticks. There he is. He's guarding the barbecue and the dish. That's where we did the dishes. And there he's found a stick, and then he started eating the stick, which was good. And then this was my friend Clayton, who had to carry him across the rapids because he couldn't quite make his footing across the rapids. So we went camping recently and enjoyed it, but it made me think, I should tell the viewers what you need to do if you take your dog camping, because there's a couple quick precautions you should take. First of all, you should have a flea collar. This one's all wrapped up. I'll see if I can unwrap it. Because you know what? The dog is not going to be happy if he's scratching at fleas and ticks. So get a flea collar, and if your dog's on program or whatever, make sure he's current on his program, which is the stuff that you take orally. Give the dog. You can also bring some flea and tick killer, even though, use it sparingly. Make sure you get a good one. And you can always spray that on if it's really, really bad out there. The thing I put behind my back is this little canteen. Make sure you have water. That's all I'm saying for your dog, because you just never know if you're going to have a source of fresh water, although most of the time the water is potable for a dog, even if it isn't for a person. And the coolest thing is now they have these inflatable dog bowls that you can pack in your pack, and they don't take up much room, and it's really good. Did you want to go camping again? You want to go camping? Yeah, I think you liked it a whole lot. But we can't right now because we have to work. Here's a Pet Department road test. See this right here? This is Hungary, and the dog we're about to meet is the Vizsla, which is the national dog of Hungary. I love Hungary. it's the National Dog of Hungary, and I know it's kind of big, covering up the entire country. But that is where they came from. The thing is about these dogs, we almost lost this breed completely. They nearly became extinct. Do you want to give me that puppy? March right on in here and just lay it on me. Thank you. Between World War I and World War II, these guys really were not bred, and they almost disappeared. But in the 50s, they made a comeback. They came to the United States, and American breeders actually helped these dogs make a comeback, and I'm awfully glad that they did. Fred Hatchell's here, as he has been before. Hi, how you doing?
Steve, how are you?
And you're here to tell us all about the Vizsla. Now, I say Vizsla, but you say...
Vizsla.
Let's call the whole thing off.
Okay.
All right. Why are these dogs such good companion animals, first of all? We'll get to the hunting in a second.
No problem. Well, first of all, Steve, they're very affectionate animals. They're loving animals. They want to be around people.
Yeah, as you can see.
Oh, obviously.
They have a lot of energy, though, don't they?
Yeah, they do. They need their exercise.
Yeah.
Obviously, you know, depending upon where a dog is during the day.
Right.
Fair amount of exercise will take that edge off of them a bit.
I did say they were a hunting dog, and that's what they were bred for,
That's
using
correct.
2 now extinct dogs. And a lot of times that's what people use them for, as gun dogs. If I don't use them as a gun dog, then a good run every day out in, say, a dog run or on a
Of course.
ranch or something
That would be
good.
fine. Like any pet, any other animal
Right.
that you would have, yeah, as long as it gets its daily exercise, it should be fine.
Let's talk about the characteristics of the Vizsla. Look at this guy. He has those, do they all have those sort of brown copper-colored eyes, or are they?
Yeah, their eyes will change. Now, Kiri here's a female, and she's just 8 weeks old, and her eyes are actually changing now.
Yeah.
They're almost blue when they're puppies.
Really?
And they're starting to change. They're almost like a hazel to a light brown.
And Vizsla, as I understand now, they do come in a wire-haired coat as well as the smooth coat.
There
like
are
this?
some wire hairs. I haven't seen too many. I've seen 1 or 2 in my time, but they are out there.
Okay. They have these floppy ears that we have to watch, right? Because we got to keep them clean, otherwise bacteria builds
That's
up
correct.
and they can get dirty.
Yeah, you can check them like once a week, and if there's if you should see anything, just a little Q-tip or
Yeah.
a cotton ball, clean it out.
Other than that, they're pretty much wash and wear dogs.
That's correct.
Not too tough. You brought a curry comb along that you can use to brush them down,
Yes.
but a bath every once in a while is good. Let's talk about the hunting aspect, because these are really good gun dogs, and if you want one to help you hunt, when you go to pick one out, you should pick one that's probably not shy and is not going to be shy of loud noises.
Absolutely. What you would probably want to do is go to a breeder or a gun dog owner.
Right.
Okay, and see what they have to offer. Of course, not all Vizslas are gun dogs.
It's true. My brother, I was telling you, had a couple of Vizslas, and one was a pretty good gun dog, and the other just really wasn't. So, and it's going to take a little training. The other thing about the Vizsla, if you have them as a gun dog, you got to invest in finding out how to train them as a dog. This is just one of the little sort of tools that you use, and you'll see that they do have an instinctual response to this kind of thing, training them to retrieve. They're pointers. They're in the pointer family, aren't they?
Yes, they are.
But they'll still retrieve, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Train them to do it, they'll do it.
What's the best thing about the Vizsla, do you think?
Their temperament, their
Yeah.
personalities. They want to be with people all the time.
Yeah.
If you have children,
They're good.
growing up with children.
We're having a little barking going on, which brings me to my last point. They can be protective dogs, right?
Oh yeah.
But they're probably not going to be aggressive.
No, they're not aggressive dogs. They're not going to be your basic attack dog or
But they'll
guard
bark.
dog. Oh, absolutely.
So a pretty good watchdog.
A very good watchdog, yes.
Gee, I might have to just keep this one. I don't know. All right, let's summarize Pet Department Road Test for you. This is what we call the Vizsla, and it depends how much they're going to cost depending on show quality, good gun dog, whatever. But the basic price you see right there is $700 to $900. Here's the thing to remember about these guys: can't really own one if you live in an apartment unless it's going to get outside and get a heck of a lot of exercise, because they're lively. Believe me, folks. Clean the ears. They don't have a lot of medical problems associated with them, which I think is a credit to breeders like yourself,
Thank you.
that we haven't had a lot of problems that other purebred dogs have, and hopefully
correct.
we can keep it that way. I asked you
Certainly
before
hope
the
so.
show if you thought they'd become more popular in Hungary as a result of the popularity here. What do you think?
I don't know. I think they're becoming a bit more popular here in the States.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe a little bit too much so. But
Well, as long as
they're a
there's
great
good,
breed.
As long as there's good breeders who watch the quality, I
Absolutely.
think that's. Do you know any Hungarian?
No, I don't.
I learned one little
Let's
word
hear it.
today. Yo naput. How'd they do? Yo naput, which means, hey, how you doing? So, hey, how you doing? Thanks for bringing these
See?
dogs on, Fred.
Thank you.
It was a pleasure having you on, as always. Later on the
Pleasure to be here.
program, we're going to tell you how to keep your pet from packing on the pounds. Dr. Larry with some life-saving advice. But coming up next, could your dog pass the Good Citizen test? Find out in just 2 minutes.
Today's Pet Department Road Test is brought to you by Pedigree.
Did you know that petting a dog can lower your blood pressure? Start over. Petting a dog can lower your blood pressure, and having a fish tank does the same thing. Jack went outside for the next segment. Is he out there? Do we have? I wanted to make sure he crossed the street. Okay. Is he okay? Do you have a shot? There he is. Okay. Better cut away because you never know what he does the minute he gets out to the park. You know what I'm saying? All right, let's check out our photo du jour today. This is a really interesting one. It's a hedgehog, which has become a pretty popular pet, although they're not cheap. This one's called Harrison Hedgehog. He's 1 year old. His name is Stokes. Harrison Hedgehog Stokes, excuse me. This was written strangely. He's owned by Jan and Bob Stokes of Lauderhill, Florida. If you want to send us a picture of your pet, send it to the Pet Department, P.O. Box 825, Madison Square Station, here in New York City, 10159-0825. More than 1 million dogs in this country are known as good citizens. Formally, officially. How, you ask? Well, there's a new test out by the AKC, and Jane is standing outside to tell us about it. Go, Jane.
Hi, Steve. We're here with Wayne Cavanaugh from the American Kennel Club, and we're talking about the Canine Good Citizen Program. What's it all about?
Well, this is a great program. The American Kennel Club started a few years back to try to promote minimal training and promote responsible dog ownership while thwarting an anti-dog sentiment or any anti-dog legislation that may rear its head.
And what could it involve?
Well, it's basically a 10-step program, and we're testing for basic manners that happen in an everyday situation, something you run into normally.
Okay, you're talking about temperament, and not learned skills, or?
This is not a real super precision training exercise. It's kind of an evaluation of the dog's basic skills at just getting along in the neighborhood, being a good neighbor in the house, being a good neighbor in the park.
Okay, great. Now we have Jim Derringer here with Tucker. They're also from the American Kennel Club, and they're going to help us go through some of the steps. So the first one is accepting a friendly stranger.
Right, the first test is accepting a friendly stranger. I'll walk up to Jim and shake hands and exchange pleasantries. Good morning, Jim, how are you? This is Tucker, and you can see Tucker held his decorum. He didn't jump up on me or growl or snarl or spin around. He held this cool pretty well.
You're looking for someone to stay calm.
That's right. That's the first step.
So when you're outside, though, there are a lot of distractions. What about everyday things like maybe people riding by on bicycles or other animals, other dogs?
Some of the other steps involve, having a bicycle go by or dropping a book or a loud noise. This one is a dog. This dog, Jack, will come up and meet Tucker, and we'll see how these dogs relate. This is called meeting another dog.
Okay.
And as you can see, we're looking for dogs that won't jump up on one another and growl and cause a fuss.
So what if they're just kind of fooling around, having fun with each other? Is that okay?
That's fine. We're not looking for precision. Again, we're looking for good manners. And these dogs are doing great. There's no growling or snarling going on. And it looks like you can have a natural walk in the park and get along with your animals.
Passing with flying colors. And finally, does it also include being a good canine citizen? Includes shaking hands forever.
Stop shaking hands.
It includes, let's take a look here, letting someone other than your owner pet you.
That's right. One of the things that we have is that this is another one of the 10 tests.
See, I'm a stranger, and he's kind of reacting.
He's looking around because he's got Jack here, but I'm looking to see what I can do if I can brush this dog. And if I take him to a grooming shop, I want to make sure that he's going to behave. And so far, he's being great with me. I'm also be able to brush him, and I want to see if I can touch his feet, touch his ears. These are things that a veterinarian or a groomer might do when
or someone who just wants to pet the dog.
Yes,
also.
exactly.
And what would cause immediate failure? What would a dog have to do?
If a dog showed viciousness or extreme shyness, or one of those dogs that just gets total panic over certain situations, that's usually a dog that hasn't been socialized well. So we're looking for a dog that has the social skills to fit into his neighborhood and fit into the household as well.
Hey, Wayne and Jane, at the beginning of the segment, Wayne, you said that you were hoping that this might influence legislation in a positive way. How could it help?
Well, one way would be if a person in an apartment complex, for instance, has an area of the city or an area in their complex where dogs aren't allowed. If the owners got together and showed they had the AKC Canine Good Citizen certificate, perhaps the tenant or landlord association would more than bend the rules a little bit and let you in.
I see.
We also have some other laws that will be helped.
Great. Sounds like a great program. How can people find out more about it?
The best way to do it is to write to the American Kennel Club at 5580 Centerview Drive in Raleigh, North Carolina. And we'll send you out a whole free kit on how the evaluation works and where it's given.
Great. Wayne and Jim and Tucker, thanks for joining us. Interesting program.
Thank you, Jane.
Steve, I should mention that they're just tests. It's not a competition, and the evaluators aren't looking for your dog to act with any precision. Almost any mildly trained dog will be able to pass with flying colors.
Just about any dog, including My dog, you see this? Jack passed the Canine Good Citizen test recently, and there you go. He got a certificate and everything. So I would encourage, and there he is, I would encourage anybody to go ahead and contact the AKC in your area. It's a pretty easy test to pass. And like Wayne said, it's really just skills for living. It's not high training. You know, around here, not only can we pass tests like that, but overall, I would say we're a very cultural bunch. Well, they were. Don't go anywhere, because when the pet department comes back, we're going to tell you how to check and see if your dog is overweight. And if they are, what you can do about it. Don't go away.
This portion of FX is brought to you by Imes Dog and Cat Foods. Good for life. From the Imes Company.
I can't even believe what Dr. Larry just said. Welcome back, everybody, to the Pet Department. Go get your guest, Doc.
Sorry.
We're trying to do television here,
run off.
and the dog ran away.
Well, it's because we've been insulting her a little bit. We've been talking about her.
Not me.
Come here, sweetie.
Let me tell you, as long as we're introducing the dog here, Sweetie, which is a very sweet dog, who was rescued, by the way, from Alabama, an abusive situation.
Right.
Let me tell you that a lot of dogs fall into the category that Sweetie is also in. About 50% of adult dogs, and I would say maybe even more, are considered to be overweight, and certainly Sweetie certainly is. Dr. Larry Cohn is our pet department veterinarian, and he's here from the North Shore Animal League, and I want to thank them very much for helping us provide some animals today. We appreciate that. I have said at the top of the show, and I've said many, many, many times, that pets that are overweight may be the #1 veterinary problem, and certainly Sweetie is an example of that.
She falls into that category, yes.
Why do pets become so overweight?
Well, the basic reason is the same reason that you and I become overweight, or at least I do. I don't know about you, but it's too...
You eat like a bird. You look fine, Larry.
It's too many calories in and not enough calories burned, not enough exercise. And the basic reason is that we've made them sedentary animals as a rule. Right. And we as pet owners are not exercising them, and we're overfeeding them. It's that plain and simple in most cases.
Tell me what other health problems can result from being overweight.
Well, probably the biggest problem that we have is arthritis, hip dysplasia, back problems. Any animal that has the predisposition to have any sort of hip, back arthritis problems, when you put this extra weight on them, it's going to make a big difference, and it's really going to hurt them.
Just like people.
It is.
You mentioned that some dogs may be more predisposed to being overweight. Like what breeds?
Well, boxers tend to be a little bit overweight. Some of the Labradors and the Golden Retrievers, some of those dogs are even genetically predisposed. I've got a couple in my practice that are just huge, and you know that it's a genetic problem.
And the owner keeps saying, I'm not feeding them that much.
Right, and some of them that's true, so you have to be very careful and have them on special diets.
Okay, we got Sweetie here, and I want to show people how to check your dog to see if they're overweight, because a lot of times owners just aren't aware that their dog is overweight.
Easy, Sweetie.
It's
Whoa,
okay.
whoa, she ran away again.
That's
Come
okay.
Here, Sweetie. Okay.
That's okay.
Poor Sweetie, we've been picking on her today.
Let's just go to her.
Probably the best way that you want to tell is right behind the back of the ribs. You ought to see an indentation. And on Sweetie, she tends to bow out instead of bowing in.
In other words, if you're looking sort of down like Mike is, our cameraman, and you look down and you see that they go straight back like a sausage casing, that's not good.
She should have a real discrete indentation. It shouldn't. She's kind of like just a taper. She should have a real discrete indentation here.
Should you be able to see the ribs?
You shouldn't be able to see them, but you should be able to feel them easily. If you kind of put your thumbs on top and put your hands along the side, you should be able to feel those ribs without having to press in. On Sweetie, I've got to press in about 3/4 of an inch before I can actually feel the ribs.
When a dog gets to this stage, what can be done? Obviously, cut the diet a little bit and increase the exercise.
Right, and you want to watch the type of food that you're using. There are a lot of low-calorie diets out there.
We've got a couple of them over here. We should walk back to the kitchen because I think they're important for people to consider.
You mentioned food. She's following us. Now, come on, Sweetie. There are some diets that are for the less active, and then we actually have restricted calorie diets that are very, very low in calories and in fat. But you want to be careful. You want to use these diets, the more aggressive ones, under the direction of your veterinarian.
I was going to say, be sure and check the vet.
But the less active ones, you can use those. You know, if you have a good feel that your dog's not getting the exercise, you want to go ahead, you can go ahead and go to the less active, but measure the cups. You know, people say, well, she only gets 4 cups, but I've seen the cups. They're oftentimes this big. Use a measuring cup.
And table scraps are probably the biggest offender.
They're a big no-no. I think you learned that with Jack. You found that once you got away from the table scraps, he really did well. It makes a big, big difference.
Let me tell you a little story about Dr. Larry that someone told me this morning.
Uh-oh.
I happen to know you have a fat cat and a fat dog in your
do.
veterinarian.
That's true.
So none of us are immune. I'm not trying to embarrass you on television.
Right.
I'm just saying that none of us are immune from having an animal that might be a little bit overweight. And I heard you gave Willie a whole sandwich from our little buffet
Well,
upstairs.
the other day when he came, he didn't have time for breakfast.
I knew you were
or
going to say
lunch,
that.
So I had to give him a little snack. But
I understand.
He is on a very restricted calorie diet. He's on this one in particular, and I am working on his weight very carefully.
Has he improved? Because I've seen him get a little bit better.
He has improved. He's not where I want him to be.
Yeah.
It's harder to get the weight off of cats. But with dogs, just decrease the amount, decrease the calories, and get that exercise going.
I did that with Jack because I felt he was a little bit overweight, and it's almost like doggy makeover time now because we're going to show you before and after. The before shot was taken, I guess, about a year ago, and as you can see, the before is on the left. Well, it looks exactly the same to me, but you have to believe me that he's lost weight. The neck, they're saying, yeah, a little bit.
He looks better.
And if you look at him from above, like you were saying, you have that hourglass shape just a little bit.
He definitely looks better.
Okay.
And I don't want people to tell me that because they were spayed or neutered that they got heavy.
Thank you for saying that.
Because that's not true. They need fewer calories, but it's up to us to give them fewer calories and keep them exercising.
And there's certainly no excuse for not spaying or neutering your pet.
Exactly.
Real quick before we leave, is Sweetie going to do better, do you think? Is she going to lose some weight?
Yeah, Sweetie will probably take about 3 months. We'll have her on a real aggressive weight loss diet, and maybe in 3 months we'll take another shot of her and see what you do before and after with her. Yes, she should do well.
Well, kudos to North Shore Animal League for rescuing that dog from Alabama, and
nice
good
story.
luck. Thank you very much,
My pleasure,
Doc, for
Steve.
coming
Nice to
in.
see
Here's a question for you. What's the only animal whose testimony is admissible in a court of law? We'll see if Dr. Larry is so smart in just a minute. You had a guess, Dr. Larry.
You want me to tell my real guess?
Well, yeah.
Bull Mastiff.
That's right.
No, Bloodhound.
That's right, but you guessed Bull Mastiff.
Right, I get right.
One of our cameramen, John, got it, of all people. All right, it was the Bloodhound, who has an amazing sense of smell. Also, I want to give the address one more time for the AKC if you're interested in the Good Citizen Test. Everybody write it down or try to remember it. It's 5580 Centerview Drive, Suite 200, Raleigh, North Carolina. Thanks for being with us, everybody, and we'll see you on the next Pet Department.